What's up, everybody? I wanted to try something new tonight and take a chance at starting like a mini podcast here on the Disc Golf Nerd page, just to kind of share some opinions with you guys. Just the way I feel about some stuff that's been, talked about out there on the internet and stuff like that. And mostly throw this one out there, see what you guys think about it as a concept moving forward here on the channel. Hopefully. You guys will enjoy it. Maybe it's something I can continue to do and just kind of share my opinions on certain things now and again without having to make a video, for it necessarily. Because there's not really anything for me to show you in this particular video. So I figured I might as well just do it purely with audio and, see how it goes. So the thing I want to talk to you guys about tonight is a lot of people have been kind of saying that perhaps disc golf is too easy and that the game needs to be altered, or perhaps the baskets need to be changed in order to make disc golf more difficult. I guess I kind of just don't understand the thinking behind this. Is disc golf too easy? Well, not for the average player, I wouldn't say it is. No, maybe, our top players make it look really easy, but, I mean, don't the top basketball players make that game look really easy too? Don't the top, football players make football look really easy? The top soccer players make it look pretty easy. So I kind of just don't understand the concept of wanting our players to shoot worse. I think the main reason why people feel this way is that when you compare it to traditional golf, our players are usually ending up way farther under par than the typical golfer would during a PGA tournament or some type of professional golf tournament. The problem I have with that is that disc golf is not golf. Like, they're two different sports, and like, if you want disc golf to just be just like golf in as many ways as possible, why don't you just go play golf? Why don't you just go watch golf? I think we should be celebrating the differences between golf and disc golf, because disc golf is a sport that we love and that we play. So why are we trying to alter the game that we love in order to make it more similar to a game that we may not even play or follow at all? That doesn't make sense to me. I also feel like in a lot of indications, based on stuff I've heard, at least I haven't done a ton of research, but by many indications, it seems like golf is on the decline, while disc golf is kind of on the rise. There's lots of golf courses that can't afford to, continue to run the way they'd like to, and they're shutting down all over the country. Meanwhile, new disc golf courses are going in constantly, and it's kind of on the rise. So, again, I don't really understand the mentality of wanting to alter disc golf to make it closer to traditional golf. One of the reasons why you might want to do that is because you look at how much money professional golfers make compared to professional disc golfers. But the thing you have to remember when you're talking about that I haven't heard anybody else mention in any type of discussion, is how old is golf? It's a very old sport. It's been around for a very long time. And golf has always been kind of, well, maybe not in the early days, but for the most part, golf is associated with the higher income people. It's known as a kind of a rich man's sport, a rich person's sport. As a kid, I liked to go to the driving range with my dad. I enjoyed golf. I thought it was cool. We'd watch it on TV. But we couldn't afford to go play rounds all the time. After greens fees and buying balls and sets of clubs for me and my dad and my brother and all that stuff, it was totally cost prohibitive. That's one of the main reasons why I really like disc golf, is how accessible it is. You can go buy one disc. You could win a disc from somebody doing an online giveaway like me or DG Weekly or somebody, or you could go buy a cheap, used disc at a local shop, find one on eBay or something, and you can go play with that disc every day. If you have a course in your area, you're all set. You got everything you need in that one disc. Of course, you could spend a ton of money and have a bunch of really great discs and an expensive bag and all that stuff, but you don't need to. Meanwhile, try having one golf club and be able to go and effectively play rounds of golf out there. I mean, it could be done. Sure, I'm sure people do it, and that's all good. But you still have to have the money to pay the fees to play. And a lot of times it's pretty expensive. But so, yeah, I don't know. I just don't really understand why we want to alter disc golf to make it more similar to traditional golf when quite possibly all the differences between the two might be why disc golf seems to be on the rise and traditional golf seems to be on somewhat of a decline. I never really hear people talking about golf too much, and obviously I'm skewed since I'm so in the disc golf community all the time that I hear a lot about it, but I don't know. It seems like I'm meeting more and more people out in the world that know about it, that have played, just it seems to be booming. Seems like younger people are interested in it, whereas traditional golf is kind of known as to be more popular amongst older people and stuff like that. And so I don't really understand that whole concept. But the other thing I want to talk about is, changing the baskets. Well, it might be interesting to have a few tournaments played on, say, a gateway bullseye basket, which is like the smaller chains, basically just the inner chains on the basket rather than the inner and outer chains. So it makes it much more difficult to get your putt to stay in. Dynamic Discs has released their version of the gateway bullseye they call the Marksman. Basically the same thing. It's just the inner chains, no outer chains on other than that, the basket's normal size. But I just don't see how having more spit outs and less putts go in and less aces happen, how is that beneficial to the game? Sure, it might lead our players to score worse, but again, how does our players scoring worse benefit disc golf? I kind of fundamentally don't understand the reasoning behind that. Have you ever watched a tournament and see somebody line up a 60-foot putt and just think to yourself, man, I really hope they don't make this? That would just be too easy if they throw this putt in from 60 feet and everybody jumped up and down and freaked out and cheered and, got a rush from the amazing shot that just happened. Is anybody upset when that happens? Would you rather, have somebody run a 60-foot putt and have it look perfect and come straight in and then there's no chains to catch it, so it just gets kicked out and then, it rolls OB or it rolls down the hill or something like that? Is that better? Our players would shoot worse if that was happening more often. But would that be good? How is that good? Just my opinion. I just don't get it. What do you guys think about this? This is definitely another aspect of a little mini podcast I wanted to do. Is I wanted to have you guys, chime in. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment. Let me know if you disagree, if you agree, if you think I'm an idiot, whatever it is. I'm not going to suppress anybody's opinions here. As long as everybody's respectful, it's all good. But I just don't see it. I don't see how making our players shoot worse will make our sport better. I don't see anybody really calling for any other sports to change the way they're played so that the athletes perform worse. That just doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to me. One of the arguments is that with our golfers hitting so many big putts and hitting aces and stuff like that, it kind of takes away from the meaning, for how much that ace means or how much that big putt means when it happens relatively often. I don't really see that either, because when you watch a tournament, how many really big putts are going in? It's not very many. How many aces happen in a tournament? Maybe one or two out of hundreds of players. The top players in the world are playing these tournaments. Maybe one person gets an ace, two people get aces. I don't think that's too much to I don't think that's like watering it down, like, oh, another ace. Oh yeah, did you see that? He stepped up, threw it 350 feet up through the trees and weaved it up through the trees and skipped right in. Uh, that was just whatever. You know, there was an ace last week on SportsCenter. Who cares? I mean, really, if you look at SportsCenter, and I've thought about this while I was watching the aces on SportsCenter. If you watch the top 10, like on a few of those times, the aces were in the top 10, and the whole rest of the top 10 was like home runs or a diving catch in the outfield over and over and over again. Or, you know, you watch ESPN and sometimes the top 10 is like 10 dunks, you know, 6 of them are alley oops, and then there's 3 home runs and 1 catch in the outfield, or 1 soccer goal and then a bunch of dunks and alley oops and stuff like that. You know, it's all the same stuff over and over and over again, and nobody's complaining about that. Nobody's saying that they need to alter baseball to have less home runs because, oh man, just another home run, just super boring. Who cares? I don't see that. It doesn't make sense to me. So that's the main thing I don't understand, and that no one's really explained is how does our players shooting poorly benefit our game? Do more chain outs and more spit outs make people want to come out and watch disc golf? You know, do we think we're going to increase spectators by having, you know, more putts fail to stay in and get thrown back out of the basket when they were right in line and everything was good? There just were no chains to catch them. Or the target was, you know, decreased in size and they just missed altogether because the sweet spot is just minuscule now. Never mind the fact that for all of average players, putting is not easy at all. You know, you go out there on the course on an average day out here in Portland, you see a lot of people miss a lot of putts. And one of the beautiful things about disc golf is that you're able to play on these amazing courses that the top players in the world play on, those same courses, same tee pads, same baskets, and everything's all kind of accessible and open. You know, last year after I watched the Beaver State Fling, I watched Paul Macbeth win in the playoff against Shoestrick. Me and my buddy went out a couple days later and we played that exact layout. You know, long pins to, you know, long tees to the different pins in the exact 18-hole layout of, or whatever, it's more than 18 I think, but in the exact full Beaver State Fling layout. It was amazing. You know, try to find a traditional golfer who's able to do that and go play Pebble Beach in the exact, you know, tournament layout. It's not an option, really. So that's one of the great things about disc golf, and I think like the concept of having different baskets that the pros play on, it just kind of takes away from that, and it takes away your ability to kind of test yourself on the same course that you've just seen the best player in the world play on. So I'm kind of against that. I do kind of agree with the argument where you could say that maybe the national tour should choose one official basket and all the national tour events should use that same basket, and you know, the PDGA can go in and change out the baskets on these courses going into these national tour events. That would be a tremendous amount of work. It would be extremely cost prohibitive, but at least I understand the argument there that you would want your top players to be able to putt on the same baskets, no matter, you know, at all these different places. They know what to expect, and they don't have to kind of adjust their putting style for these variables of different baskets and the way they catch and where the sweet spot is and that sort of thing. So yeah. Another aspect of all this is like, if you're concerned about the fact that our players are shooting too many strokes under par, do we even really need par? Do we need birdies and eagles and all that sort of stuff? It's really just another statistic, because ultimately the fewest throws wins. If you throw your discs less times than everybody else in the field, you win the tournament, period. That's all there really is to it. Maybe we just, if we're that concerned about, you know, which I'm not, but again, if somebody is that concerned about the perception of our sport and having our players too many strokes under par, Maybe we just get rid of par altogether and, you know, play the courses as they are, and whoever completes them in the fewest throws wins. I see no problem with that. Also, it seems interesting to me that a lot of the people that seem to think our sport needs to be more difficult feel like that there should be more par fours and par fives out there, and I don't see how that aligns with that at all. If you think about it, if you're playing a long par three and you don't get off the tee cleanly, you have a really difficult scramble shot to get to the basket to save par. Where if you're on a par four, and even if you shank your drive and you throw it early, you still have a whole nother throw to get up to the basket and make that birdie. And let's face it, most of our top players out there have the arm to reach a lot of these par fours in one throw. So, you know, whether they're getting terribly close or just getting in putting range in one throw, that still, you know, is clearly not helping this whole under par. You know, if you're concerned about the players shooting too many strokes under par, you know, giving them more chances at eagles, and then even if they miss the eagle, they have a drop-in birdie or a 10-footer for birdie. That's clearly not helping the situation as far as I'm concerned. Longer and more difficult technical par threes would you know force our players to, you know, scramble more and increase the difficulty as far as I'm concerned. So I guess that's another concept of all this. I don't know. What do you guys think about all this? Make sure you leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Maybe I'm crazy. You know, it's just my opinion, obviously. Also, obviously, nobody really cares about my opinion so much. It's not like I have any influence over disc golf. You know, I'm just little rinky-dink YouTube channel trying to help out beginners and post some review videos, have some fun. It's a great hobby. I'm happy to help out some people that are kind of getting into the game. I get a bunch of great feedback from you guys. It means a lot to me. So, but other than that, nobody really cares. Just my opinion. Just wanted to kind of let you guys know what I thought about all this stuff. So in summary, I don't see how having our players shoot worse, have less aces, and more putts get spit out or kicked out of the basket is at all beneficial to the game. And I don't think changing the baskets is financially viable or would be beneficial in the long term for disc golf. So that's my opinion on this particular topic. Also, let me know what you guys think about the whole like mini podcast as a concept as well. I have a couple other topics I might try out if anybody listens to this or anybody enjoys it. So yeah, definitely appreciate the feedback and all the support from everybody. And I will talk to you guys soon. All right, bye.